Have you ever been in a relationship whereby it's a parasitic relationship, parasitic kind of relationship? In such a relationship, you're the only one doing everything. You're the one doing the calling, the texting, the giving of the gifts. And you are the only one showing concern. The other person is only receiving and receiving and receiving. And as for you, your work is to give and give and give. You give mpaka you fika a place and there is nothing else to be given. There is nothing for you to give again. And have you also been in a relationship that is symbiotic? Symbiotic. Those of us who studied biology. I was not so good in biology, but I passed. But a symbiotic relationship is whereby this one is giving and this one is giving. As much as this one is receiving, this one is also receiving. So you are giving, I am giving, we are all giving, and we are all receiving. And I've been thinking about this thing. How are our relationships? And in particular, how is your relationship with God? How is your relationship with God? There is this woman, I was walking with, let me say I was walking with some years back, and her husband had married another wife, in quotes. Her husband had married another lady, and so this woman wanted me to help her. Me, Vera, being the counselor that I know I am. And the only thing I know how to do best is to pray. So I told her, I might not be in a position to help you in so many ways as you expect, but the most and the best thing I know how to do is pray. So I worked with her in prayer, in counseling, and of course I guided her. Yeah, so I guided her on praying and fasting, and also I counseled her. This woman could really cry, and baby, have you ever seen someone crying and whatever they are crying about, you've ever been there, gone through that, and overcame, and so you're like, unalia. But you have to compose yourself. Yeah, you have to compose yourself and not laugh at them. You have to be a good counselor, right? So I worked with her this journey. It took us almost a year. She would call me, she'll come to my place, I'll go to her place, we'll meet in the church that I was back then, pray. And things were not easy. It's like the more we prayed, the harder the things got. But somehow, God came through for her, and her marriage was restored in a miraculous way. I would say in a miraculous way. And I've worked with women whose marriages have been shaky and they have been restored, and I give God all the glory. I believe that is a grace that God has bestowed upon me, and I thank Him for that. So I thank God that this woman's marriage was restored. But what caught me is, if exactly after this woman's marriage was restored, she stopped calling me, she stopped texting me, she stopped coming to my place. And I was like, girl, I thought we had built a relationship, but wewe mambo imekuwa mazuri kwako and you've ran away. And then she stayed for some time without even contacting me. She stopped even going to church just because things were working right for her. And when she stopped coming to church, I said to myself, let me see how this goes. And then after some time, I guess now the husband had, things were not really working as per the expectation. So I started seeing her now coming back to church, and I was like, wewe ni wale wa kupenda Mungu wakati kuna jua, lakini kukikuwa na mvua, ama you just love God in one season, then in the other season when things are going good you love God. No, when things are going bad you love God, you seek God, you cry to God. But when things are going right, kwaheri Mungu, tuonane next season. And I asked myself, if this thing pained me, as in, ni kama alinitumia, yeah, let me put it like that, ni kama alinitumia, and I've seen it with several other people. A person only contacts you when they are in need of you, but once they are good, they no longer need you. They don't contact you again. Vera, kindly pray for me, I need a job. Vera, kindly pray for me, my workplace is like this. Or you go even to your pastor, pray for me, my marriage is not working, pastor, pray for me, my business, blah 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 blah. But when things align themselves, when things are working 100%, in fact 200%, hauna haja na pastor wako, hauna haja na Mungu. You might be asking, where is Vera going with this? I'm talking about your personal relationship with God. Wewe ni ule wa kuvaa Mungu kama gumboot, wakati kuna mvua ndio unamtoa chini ya kitanda kwenye ulimrusha. Alafu wakati kuna jua hata haumkumbuki. You are a seasonal person. Like you do relationships in a season. This time unajisikia na God. This time hata una shughuli na yeye. It is good for us to search our hearts this new year 2025. Search your heart and ask yourself, what kind of relationship do I have with God? Is it a parasitic relationship that I only go to him when I am in need? Or is it a symbiotic relationship? And whenever you are praying, are you just asking? Or do you also sit to ask God, God speak to me, sahi God unataka? You also listen to him, you also listen to hear what he's saying. Because kama relationship yenu ni like a husband and a wife, it should be that no one is just the king or no one is just giving. It should be two-way. Wewe unachukua, mimi ninachukua. Wewe unanipea, mimi ninakupea. And I believe as we challenge ourselves this year 2025, we will work out our own personal relationship with God. Wachana na hiyo ya kwenanga church ati niko na relationship na Mungu kozua naenda church. Hapana. How many times do you have your secret place where you go to meet with God? Just the two of you. Bila a third party. Bila your husband being there. Bila your wife being there. Bila your friends being there. Si ati corporate, hapana. Personal, ile unaketi chini unaambia God, by the way, ebu come tuongee. God, ebu come tubonge leo. And he shows up. So that is my challenge to you guys this new year. That desire to have a personal walk, a personal relationship with God. And I believe you will enjoy it. I know God feels lonely. Yeah, God feels lonely. Si pia wewe unasikia ukiwa lonely. God feels lonely and he needs you. He desires you. He desires you to just meet with him. Ukae tu umsikize anasema nini, anataka nini. Yeah. Bless you.